Hello and good morning from sunny Bahrain. Well, it's not so sunny today, it's a bit of a dust storm, but it is the first day of Eid, it is Monday, so Eid Mubarak to you. We're just on the way to the gym, so we're going to Liwan, Hamala, which is a new complex and a new facility. So it's a real first-class gym, the energy is amazing. If you haven't been, definitely suggest you check it out. Today I'm going to take you through a back and bicep workout, but we're going to be mixing up all sorts of functions from barbells to dumbbells. We're going to add some elements of power as well, so slam balls and everything in between. So really excited to show you that. Yeah, we're on our way, so we'll check in just a moment. Okay guys, so we're just coming up to Liwan. It's a really cool complex. All of your regulars, your Starbucks, your Caribou. We've got a supermarket coming. Some really cool facilities here. Sorry about that, just had to change gear. I am driving a manual, so it's not so easy to record. So we're just pulling up. This is our Nakheel Premium. Honestly guys, if you haven't checked it out, they have such friendly staff. It is a massive gym. It's a commercial sized gym, but it's so friendly and it's so community based. So I'll show you that in just a second. Okay guys, so we're here, we're just walking in. They've got two major facilities here. So they've got a females only or a ladies only gym as well, which is great for them because they honestly, you see most of them just making the most out of both. Let's flip this around. Hi, how are you? Good afternoon, how's it going? So over here is our ladies facility. Coming through and drum roll. Boom, look at that. Beautiful gym. As I said, it is Eid, so it's going to be nice and empty today. But we've got 35-meter turf, and let me get on my mic and then we'll swap over to the better audio. Okay team, so here we are. We're now in Al Nakheel. You can see that beautiful setup behind me, 35-meter turf. They've got all the machines in the world that you could want, Watson, Arsenal strength. Anyway, today's not really about a gym tour. Today is about a back and bicep workout with some power. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with just a very basic warm-up, going through some bodyweight stuff, a bit of activation. Most of my filming today is going to be on a tripod, so apologies for that, but hopefully that will give you some good angles as well. So mostly we're looking for a hypertrophy rep range today, so anywhere between 8 to 12 for our failure, unless I state otherwise, so check it out down in the description. Yeah, we're going to make sure that we're getting 60 to 90 seconds rest between sets as needed, and looking to get that muscular fatigue. Take your time, quality over quantity. Some of these movements are a little bit more technical, so if you need a little bit more help on some of them, then please suggest that, and I will do my best to help you with some more detail on that. All right guys, good luck, and see you on the other side. Okay team, let's get started. So first up, we're just going to start with a upper body warm-up, and then we're going to go into some activation. So I like body weight warm-ups, like to get the heart rate up, get the blood flowing, and make sure that I'm feeling alive really across the board. So we're going to start 20 jacks, make sure we're getting full range. Great, so just a little bit of a booster. We're now going to go into torso twist. Now I'm turning on that outer foot, so I'm not putting any unnecessary pressure through the knees. And really what we're trying to do here is mobilize the spine, lengthen the lats, okay, activate the core a little bit on that rotational movement. Okay, next up we're going to go for over-unders. So turning the palms up, you're going to squeeze those shoulder blades back together. Give yourself a nice big hug. And we're just going to do about 6 to 12 over-unders, then we're going to go back to torso twist. A little bit of a shorter time now. We're just getting the body warm, trying to warm up the joint capsules. And back to over-unders. Okay, now we're going to get into some shoulder rolls. So I want you to expand the chest, brush the ears, nice big rotations. and then we're gonna get into a back bend. So we're working on that lower back extensor, drop down for a toe touch, right the way to the floor. Now we wanna keep our stretches or our warm up nice and dynamic. So we're telling the body that we wanna activate the muscles, get the blood flowing. We're not looking to lengthen for too long. So you might hold just for a second, but then we repeat, keeping it dynamic. Awesome guys, nice work. Next up, we're gonna get into an A-frame. We're gonna go to opposite hand to opposite leg. So here we are working on opening up the hips as they're connected with the hamstrings and the lower back. But we're also getting that thoracic extension and rotation as we reach and twist those shoulders up to the sky. This is gonna be nice and important for our range of motion when we're loading. Great. Next up, we're gonna go into some hip openers. So today we do have some sumo deadlifts with a high pull. Okay, so we wanna make sure that our hips are nice and warmed up and also activated. Okay, let's do a few ankle rotations. Heel right the way down to the floor, up onto that tiptoe. And other side. Okay, I'm just going to get into a few squats. Now what I'm really focusing on here is squeezing them out my butt at the top, keeping my abs nice and tight with a nice neutral spine. Awesome, let's go wrist rotations. Okay, fingers together, stretch it out. Good, into the elbows. And now it's going to go for 4 slow and controlled walkout push-ups. So shoulder over hand, control down, press, and back. Awesome guys, so that's our dynamic warm-up. We're now going to go into a little bit of activation and we'll move on with that. So, okay team, so our first part of activation here is going to be our scap elevation and depression. You can use any bar. Set this bar up just a little bit higher, it can be a pull-up bar. I suggest that you keep it assisted. You can do these purely for strength, however today we're just using it for activation to make sure that we're keeping our mind-muscle connection with the position of our shoulder blades, to keep them in the right position in our pulling movements, okay? So I'll show you from this side first. We're just going to start with a dead hang. So you notice my feet are staying down, my shoulders are by my ears. I'm going to drive my shoulder blades back and down and release. And I'm working to that full range, nice, slow and controlled. It's assisted through the feet. Now if even with your feet in this position is a little bit too hard, you can drop your feet forward. So I'll show you this from a front position. Feet can come forward. Now I've got a little bit more support through my quads. Shoulders back and down. Okay, and you're going to do anywhere between 10 to 15 reps. And what we're looking to do is just warm up that joint capsule, get the shoulder girdle moving up and down. And we're going to copy that now with a scap push-up. Okay guys, so next up we're going to go through a scap push-up. So this is essentially protraction and retraction of our shoulder blades. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into that push-up position. Without bending the elbows, we're going to drop through, squeezing that pencil with your shoulder blades, drive back up to the top. Okay, this is also good activation for the serratus anterior, which is sitting just through here, just deep to the lat. Now if this is too hard to perform for repetitions in this position, it is possible for you to go into a box position. So again, we're dropping those shoulder blades back through and driving up. Again, we want this to be an assisted movement so that we can work on our shoulder mobility and strength rather than a strength movement. Okay guys, here we go, let's get started. So movement set number 1, we're going to do a sumo dead high pull. So I really like this exercise because of the power that you require. Since this is our first movement set as well, I'm going to just go nice and light on my first one, just do a bit of a bar warm up before I then do 3 working sets. So while I'm doing that, it's a good opportunity to talk you through the form. So We're gonna make sure that we're about feet shoulder width apart or just on the outside of the shoulders. My feet are gonna be turned out to 45 degrees. We're gonna drop down to the bar. Now, a good way to gauge where your hand should be is putting your thumbs together, obviously making sure that you're nice and center. Once you've got your thumb distance, thumbs come under. In all cases, knees should be tracking the toes, and I'm trying to create a vertical line between the knee and the foot. Okay, nice straight back, shoulders stay back and down. Now I'm gonna break this movement down for you. We're gonna drive up into our dead, okay, and then we're gonna scoop and follow through with the upright row. So into the dead, upright row, and control down. Nice deep breath, shoulders back and down, and repeat. And what we're looking to do is keep that bar in a straight line. Deadlift, squats, sumo dead, majority of the time that bar is staying in a straight bar path. So you're just working on keeping your form and manipulating your body around it, okay? Now when you're getting down into this position, if you find that keeping your back straight, hips horizontal, and that straight line too difficult, you might find it helpful to get a few plates on the side, and that will help raise it and also help your mobility to get into that correct position. So take your time, quality over quantity, and let's do a few warm-ups. Okay team, so this is movement set number 1 for me. I'm probably going to be looking to fail at about 8 or 10 reps because you find the sumo dead high pull is a real power exercise, and that's going to be taxing. So second thing I say is, unless you're not used to this exercise and you're just getting used to what weight falls for you, try not to let the weight or let the reps dictate the weight. The weight should dictate the reps. Okay, so I've got my bar set up now for me. I'm going to make sure that whatever I'm doing is I'm failing within 1 to 2 reps of 8 or 10. Okay, so I'm not going to the point where I'm losing form, keeping good form, good power all the way through. Finally, when we get to the top of that movement, shoulders come up into that high pull. Okay, we're not extending over and raising the trap. Shoulders to stay back and down. I'm locking out, squeezing my butt, keep the glutes engaged, abs should be nice and tight, ribs tucked in, so I'm not leaning back through the movement. Okay, not going to show you all my working sets because frankly I don't have the video space on iPhone, but here's my first one going through. All right guys, that's 2 for 10. Make sure that we're keeping that form, shoulders back and down, lats engaged, firing through the hamstrings, statue position at the top. All right, let's get it. Okay team, movement set number 2. We're gonna be doing bent over rows, pronated, into slam ball. So I've got a 10 kilo slam ball. For the form set that I'm gonna be talking through, I'm just going a little bit lighter. I'm quite comfortable with this weight. It's just going to make sure that I'm setting in the right processes and the right movement pattern as I go. Now we're doing pronated at this point because later on the next movements we're going to be doing are going to be supinated. When we supinate, we get more access to the bicep, which can add a little bit of a bias. And frankly, on back day, we really want to make sure that we're using as much of our back as possible. I know it sounds silly, but many a times we're letting those biceps take over because we all love to use the bicep. Anyway, moving on to our bent over row. Pronated grip, we're going to get a bit more forearm right into that mid back. You're going to start in a deadlift position, okay? So feet should be sitting right underneath the hips. Weight stays right the way through the mid foot and big toes down. Hands come just outside the hips, nice straight back. We're going to stand to the top. Now I'm just going to move out just slightly, I might be a little bit close. Ideally we want it for comfort with our feet position, but also so we have enough room to complete the row without our hands hitting our knees. I'm then going to drop down into a hip hinge, so that's butt back, nice straight back, shoulders stay back and down, and we're going to row towards the belly button, driving the elbows back, squeezing the shoulder blades. I'm also keeping my abs fully engaged, my chest up, and ideally, if you just notice, I put my neck into a neutral position for the same. Okay, that's your bent over row. All right, we're going to superset that with slams. Now, when we do a slam, this is a sandball slam, so it's not going to bounce back at you. Careful with medicine balls, okay? From a floor position, okay, we're going to come above the head, follow it down, pulling through those lats. Bit of engagement, ready for our next movement. Catch it off the floor. Nice big slams. We're gonna be going again, 8 to 10, 12. If you can go up the weight, if you have access to that, then make sure that you're exhausting yourself. Don't say I didn't warn you, this isn't a power workout as well. Okay team, so working set number 1 for me. I've adjusted the weights. Again, I'm looking to fail anywhere between 8 to 12 reps. We're looking for that hypertrophy range. Little tip, you'll notice in my form review that when I was rowing, I was driving the elbows back towards the belly button, and I'm keeping the weight right the way through my center of gravity. Now this is really important not to leverage the lower back, and it's actually gonna get a lot more of a lat engagement as we pull. Now, when you bring the bar further away, and we're in this position and we do a row, it's more of a T-bar row and we're gonna work upper back. Now there's nothing wrong with that. You should absolutely work upper back to get that scapular retraction. However, do I suggest that you do it on a bent over row? Probably not. It puts a lot of tension through that lower back and it makes your lower back work much harder just to support the position, which probably means you can't go up as high as you would. If you want to do that, then do it on a prone bench row or a TRX wide row and adjust the leverage, okay? Anyway, enough talking, let's get into set number 1. All right team, set number 1 done. Should be pretty exhausted from that. We're working on the strength and the control of the back, just through here, working the lats. Straight into that power exercise, 10 heavy hard slams. Keep that full range, straight back, engage the lats. Okay team, so next up we're gonna do this plate loaded lat pull down, but we're gonna do a 2-1. So it's gonna be a single pull into a double pull. Okay, clearly as a vertical pull, we're really focusing on getting that lat engagement. On a bent over row, we did pronated grips with palms facing down. This one we're going to do supinated, so there will be a little bit of a bias on the bicep this time, which is okay. We want to change up those angles, we want to hit the back with different recipes if you like. We're going to go with a wider grip on this one as well. We want to focus on keeping that chest up, driving the elbows down, squeezing those shoulder blades back and down right at the bottom. So we're getting, again, that scap pull down and big pull. We're not letting the traps stay up nice and high. Then going to superset this with a standing lat pull down, which I'll show you in just a moment. So with this one, this is the Watson plate loaded pull down. I'm just going to make sure that the seat's nice and set. This feels about good. I'll grab both my handles. I'm starting with that wide grip. Okay, keeping that chest up. I'm going to pull down for 1 on the right, getting that shoulder blade back and down, 1 on the left. And we're gonna go 2 together, getting that nice big squeeze. You notice how I'm keeping that tempo nice and smooth. This is just gonna be a warm-up set for me while I'm explaining to you guys that good form. Okay, squeezing those shoulder blades back together. Nice big pulls. Now you're only gonna aim for about 4 to 6 reps, because if you convert this into a hypertrophy set, then for every rep that we're doing, which is 1, 1, 2, it's gonna equal 2 pulls on each arm. So in this case, I've just about managed 6. Okay, that's movement number 1. We're going to superset now. I'll take you there. Okay team, so the next one, the standing lat pull down, whereas on the 2-1 plate loaded, we were doing much more strength focus. We're loading as much as we can for that hypertrophy range. We're actually going to go for volume on this one. So we're still looking for that fatigue, 2 reps off fatigue, but we're lowering the weight and we're going for volume, okay? Get a nice little pump on. All right, now with this one, might take a second for those first couple of reps just to get set up. Okay, you're gonna start with a little bit of a hinge so your butt is back, but your back should be nice and straight. Straight arms, so we're not bending through the elbow to use triceps to pull down. Okay, we're gonna get the hinge. Now, I'm actually gonna change that position on my second rep. So as I pull down, I'm gonna bring the hips up. At the top, I'm squeezing those shoulder blades back and down. So I'm not fully closing the hip, but the focus is that mind-muscle connection through the lats. Nice big pulls, keeping that back straight. And you notice that I'm keeping this smooth and controlled, and I can really start to feel those lats coming in now. Getting a real good burn. If you find that this movement's quite hard to complete, then lower that rep and perfect your form. It's good to make sure that we're getting all different angles. So we've done a few horizontal rows, we've done some vertical rows, and we're going to change that up as we go. Okay team, so I've just changed the angle up for you. Hopefully you get a little bit of a better look on my back in this one. This is going to be working set number 1. Knees tucked under, keeping those shoulder blades back and down. Awesome team, well done. You might find when you're moving that you find it really helpful just to keep that breathing synchronized. So as you breathe out as we come down, breathe in as we come up. Breathe out as you come down, breathe in as you come up. Keep it smooth, keep it controlled, keep it real. All right team, straight into it. So superset, standing lat pull down. Getting those shoulder blades back together. Awesome guys, so I actually stopped to 15 there. I'll probably take my weight down on the second set, so I'm feeling a little bit of triceps, and the lat engagement was really good in the beginning, but those last 5 reps starting to get a real burn on. So I'll drop that down for the next one. Okay team, so next up we're going to jump onto the 1-arm row. It's a beastie exercise, probably an essential, but it's also great for today's workout because now we're going to be going with a neutral grip, so my palms are going to be facing inward. Nice little contraption here from Watson. Helps me get into a nice position, good comfort for the knee, all set up. Bit of a privileged machine if you like, but frankly you can use anything. You can use the bench, you can up onto the dumbbell rack. The key really is just to keep good form. So what we're looking for is shoulders to stay in line, hips to stay in line. It's the 4-point test. We're then going to go from that hanging arm. As we drive up, we're going to get that shoulder blade back together. Okay, so we're squeezing now. It's that 1-arm row. Okay, we're going to try to reduce any swing. Nice straight back. Now I'm getting a little bit of a reach to help pronate that shoulder and get that scapular retraction at the top. Awesome, we're going to superset this with a sled pull, and what we're going to be doing with that is keeping constant tension. However, I'm just going to match my reps here on the other side. Okay, you're going to start always with your weaker arm and then match on your stronger arm. Now, similar to the bent over barbell row, again, you are looking to drive that elbow backwards to keep it in your center of gravity, get that lat engagement and that mid-back engagement with the scapula. Okay team, next up, we're supersetting with that 1-arm row. We're now going to go for a sled pull, but it's an isometric hold through the back. So what we're looking to do is get all of our, all into the right position, shoulders back and down, keep that chest up, core should be engaged, and we're just going to do little steps with the legs as we pull back. Now you might need a fair bit of weight on that sled to get a good pull. This is also going to help strengthen that lower back. You just start to pull slowly, keeping the shoulder blades back and down, core tight, keeping that back engaged. Now it's a mind-muscle connection as we're pulling. Arms stay straight. Okay team, so working set. Try to give you a little bit of a different angle just to see if that helps with your setup. So remember, we're looking for those shoulders in line, hips in line. We're going for a bit of a reach. Nice straight back. Okay team, I'm going to superset into that pull. Apologies, on the last one we ran out of battery, so hopefully a better working set this time. Okay team, so we're working with about 5 or 10 meters. Now it's really important to try to keep the legs out of this as much as possible. We're getting that lean back and we're going to keep the chest nice and upright. So I'm holding that tension through the back. It's becoming an isometric exercise because I'm keeping all of my back fully engaged while I'm working through the pull. If you're getting anything more than 10 meters, 12 meters, it's probably too light. Okay team, so now we're moving on to biceps. Throughout this process I've been talking to you about focusing on that mind-muscle connection to really use your back. Absolutely that should be done all the way through, otherwise those biceps can really start to take over and we're getting a bicep workout, not a back workout. However, now we are working on the biceps, so we're going to start with a little bit of isolation. We're doing a superset here. We're going to do the seated preacher curl with the Z-bar, going on the inward grip, and then we're going to do some time under tension hammer curls. So we're going to superset straight into the two. So starting here, make sure you've got your seat at the right position. Elbows and back of the tricep should be nice and flat. And we're just working on good solid form, so a nice steady tempo. Opening up the bicep or opening up the elbow flexion just enough, okay, that we're keeping the tension in that long range, but we're getting as full range of motion as possible. I'm starting to run out there. That'll be that. Now we're going to superset into some tension holds. Let me take you over. Okay, team, next up. We don't need heavy weights for this one. It's a superset. You're already going to be kind of fatigued. We're going for a 5-second hold at 90 degrees. So keeping those elbows in a fixed position. 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to do 5 hammer curls. Again, opening, but keeping that tension in the bicep throughout the movement. Nice and steady, no swing, core tight. 5 to the top and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go again. Last one. Awesome, guys, you can get through that third cycle, but if you're getting to 3, really it's probably too heavy. We want 2 solid cycles, 5-second hold, 5 reps, keeping the tension throughout. Okay team, a little bit of a different angle for you. We're still on this, the seated preacher curl, so I want to make sure that we're reducing our rest a little bit now, so we're focusing more on about 60 seconds. We don't want to let the biceps rest for too long. Okay, let's go, back. Okay team, so you saw that last rep was absolutely terrible. It took me off my seat trying to curl it with the rest of my body, not my biceps. That's my biceps giving up all the way through, so just 6 reps. I'm going to call that a working set because 6 is really working into that strength range. It's not a bad number to be hitting when we're right at the bottom of the funnel in the workout and my arms are fatigued. So I'm going to reduce the weight on the next set. Now I'm going to jump onto those time under tension hammer curls. You may have noticed that team on my 3rd rep, starting to get a bit of a pull through the shoulders. Key to keep that elbow fixed, nice and isolated to the biceps so that we're not compensating through the rest of the body. Again, if you need to, drop that weight so you're getting the most out of it. Okay, it's more on quality, not quantity. Okay team, so last one we're going to finish up with is a bit of explosiveness. So today we're mixing up strength, isometrics, plyometrics, putting it all together really for an all-round back and bicep workout, bit of power. So this one's a ballistic row. We're going to use a kettlebell. It's essentially a bent over row where we're pulling the kettlebell to the belly button. So we're pulling with a powerful row, but then we're controlling down with the opposite hand. So there's a bit of a swap at the top. So let me get into a good position for you. We're going to hinge, nice straight back, drive to the belly button, control. Trying to keep that back nice and straight. Of course, that's the key point. Pulling to the belly button, powerful up, control down. So really working that bicep, but also the back throughout the movement. I've lost count to be honest, but we're probably looking for about 8 and 8, 10 and 10 on that weight. Okay team, so we're keeping that rest a little bit lower, so 45 to 60 seconds rest. We're going back in again, working set. We've got 3 of these to finish up. Stay nice and explosive, keeping that hinge. Okay, it's supported by the hamstrings, core nice and tight, to the belly button. And very key is to keep those shoulders in line with each other. Otherwise we're going to compensate through the torso twist and not use the back and biceps as we wish. This is a really good burner exercise to finish up with, get a little bit of a pump on before you finish it. Okay team, that's us. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the workout. Make sure to like and subscribe below if you want to see more workouts just like this. Remember, anytime you're doing a workout, take your time, nail that form, quality over quantity, keep a nice steady tempo, don't rush through it. Okay, the more that you work on that mind-muscle connection, make sure that you're working the body part that you're looking to work, the more that you're going to get out of that movement. All right guys, take care, and hopefully see you soon.